Okay. So as always, you can type your questions and comments and feedback in our questions box, our Q&A box. Well, I've got an old image here, I'm just noticing, but the Q&A box on Zoom if you have any questions, and we'll go over those at the end of the webinar. So I am Frankie Bayak, the Media and Communications Coordinator at the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project. NJSAP is a division-funded program of the Arc of New Jersey since 1983. We support the state's largest network of individual self-advocates and self-advocacy groups. We provide comprehensive training and resources to self-advocates, direct support professionals, and agency personnel. So today we will be talking about trying new things. So this topic of trying new things was seen in our Positive Pulse newsletter in December of 2019. So if you have, if you're on our email list, you'll have received Positive Pulse for a couple of years now at this point. And twice a month, we have newsletters come out and they go right to your inbox if you're on our email list. And they're all topics about healthy living. And you can read past issues on our website. So today, what we will cover why you should try new things, some new workouts you can incorporate, new foods to put into your everyday diet, some new hobbies you can take up, and why you should try to make new friends. So why should we try new things? So when you try new things, time seems to pass quicker. If you experience something novel, it seems to have lasted longer. To extend your weekend hours, try venturing to a new hiking spot, taking a different route, find a new healthy restaurant to eat at. The important thing here is that you do something, anything that you've never done before, and then life seems less monotonous. And you create new happy memories doing this. Another thing that trying new things will do is help you gain confidence. The more things you try and do, the more capable that you'll feel. And the more capable you feel, the less new ideas and new activities will scare you. Instead of thinking, oh, I could never run 5 miles, just give it your best shot. And, then you'll think, wow, I ran further than I thought. And maybe you'll make that 5 miles. And the next time you'll think, maybe I can run 10 miles. Just keep building on, improving. Your brain will also be healthier. It turns out that the human brain has a great potential for something called neuronal plasticity. That means that it's malleable, it's moldable, it changes. It appears that challenging our brains, for example, by learning a new skill, leads to actual changes in the adult brain. So doing these new things with others can help fend off social isolation, depression, stress, all of these things that can affect your brain health. So trying new things will make your brain healthier. So try and challenge your brain in 60 seconds or less. New experiences require the brain to do some work because it's encountering something it hasn't experienced before. Turning off autopilot for a moment and being mindful and aware of what we're experiencing can get us out of well-trodden grooves and create an opportunity for a new experience. So try just taking a couple minutes in your day and try some of these little mini challenges. It's something fun and can offer you a new perspective. You can brush your teeth with the hand that you don't normally use. So if you're righty, try your left hand, see how it feels. You can take a different route to work or to the store. Just you'll walk by different things. Eat a bite or two of your dinner with your eyes closed. This one, be careful when you're doing it, just a bite or two, but you might feel some new sensations and smells and tastes might feel different to you. Focus on your breathing for 60 seconds. Just a minute, breathing, relax. Don't think about much of anything else. See how it feels. Or try sitting in a different spot in your house or at your favorite restaurant. You'll get a different view, maybe be near different people. It's something small, but again, just something new. And these are all little things you could easily incorporate into your day. And you can come up with your own. So we're about to watch a short video, and this video series by Allure shows celebrities trying unique activities that they've never done before. It's not about success or failure, but simply trying something new. And if anything catches your eye, maybe you can try it at home. They're really silly, fun kind of little things, and they're just something new. So let's take a look.
I feel like Bob Ross. I'm fitting hangers in there too, people. Put some sandals in there, shoes. Ready? Okay. Trust your senses. I feel like I'm doing really well, actually. We can do this one. Woo! I've been doing this since I was a kid. Thank you. Here we go. Here goes nothing. Okay. Yes. Boom. In true Euphoria fashion, we must have stars. Forget it. Ooh, you see that? Ooh. Not bad, right? So looks like something. Okay. My hair is not letting me live! Let's see if I can do them at once a little bit easier. Oh, thank you. Gosh, okay, here we go. Please hold your applause. All right. Okay, we gotta get a little closer. Sorry, don't mind me. Self-portrait using makeup. Take one. I'm making eyebrows. I probably should have left some white for the eyes, but whatever. Some lips. Give her a cheekbone. Hair. Okay. It's an abstract painting, you see? Ha! Voila! Yes! Love this! I'm really getting into it now, guys, so you're gonna have to stop me. Okay, Zendaya and I just did 9 things with Allure.
So there we go. Zendaya just tried 9 different things, and she made her brain healthier by just doing something new, and you can do that too. So our next topic, we'll be talking about workouts and new exercises to try. So new workouts. The 2 main goals here are to prevent boredom associated with doing the same things workout after workout, and to avoid or delay reaching a plateau in workout performance and training results. So you want to stay interested and you want to keep improving. So when you keep switching up your workouts, this will allow you to keep exercising longer. Research has shown that adding variety to an exercise program can improve adherence. In short, you'll be more likely to stick with it when it's varied. Exercise scientists at the University of Florida observed that individuals who modified their workouts every 2 weeks over an 8-week period appeared to enjoy their workouts more and were more inclined to stick with their exercise programs when compared to individuals who followed the same workout regimens week after week. Switching up your workouts will also allow you to keep challenging your body. So varying your exercise routine can help you stay physically challenged. Many of the body's physiological systems, like the muscular system, adapt to an exercise program within approximately 6 to 8 weeks. So within this time frame, this 6 to 8 weeks, if you don't modify your routine, you then reach a plateau because your body has adapted to the repetitive training stimulus. You keep doing the same things and your body says, okay, like I know how to do this now. And a month or 2 in, you get used to it and it's not a challenge anymore. So keep in mind that you need to adjust your routine to make further progress. Oh, so there's our goals. So how do we spice up our workouts? So here are some ideas. Let's get that little animation going. We can, if you're walking, change it up by adding some jogging or some running, change up your pace. You can also change the elevation. If you're walking the same flat path, try walking uphill or downhill or a variety, something that just isn't flat, and that'll add a change. You can also use weights. If you use hand weights while you're walking or jogging or running, you're also going to work your upper body in addition to your lower body. If you're doing floor exercises, you want to change up the order of your exercises. If you're doing, always starting with crunches or something or other, then try starting, with the jumping jack. Just change up the order of the exercises that you're doing. You can try alternating between strength-based activities and those for flexibility. Changing the muscle groups that you're targeting. If you're working on your leg muscles, then try working on your arms. If you're working for strength, try doing some yoga for flexibility. By fatiguing the muscles in a new order or pattern, you require them to adapt to the new training stimulus. And like we mentioned before, then you keep improving. Another way to spice up your workouts is mixing fitness and recreation. So it doesn't have to be all floor exercises or running. You can play a sport or a game that keeps you moving. You like, basketball or baseball, or, even just running around and playing tag or something. Anything that gets you moving is considered, part of your workout routine. You can utilize your daily transportation as well. So if you usually take a car somewhere or take public transportation, but it's close enough that you could walk or ride a bike, try that. That isn't taking necessarily more time out of your day to do the things you need to do, but you'll get some more fitness workouts built right into your day. So we'll talk now a little bit about different muscle groups. So many fitness experts consider these to be the 6 major muscle groups in your body. Oop. The chest, the back, the arms, the shoulders, legs, and calves. So these are the major groups. And, if you're thinking other things that you've heard before, like your glutes or your quadriceps or your, biceps, then those are more specific within these groups. But there's quite a lot. There's this website called the Muscle Wiki, and it is pretty cool at showing you which exercises target which muscles. So we can take a look at that. So when you go on it, you'll see this display. You can click on a muscle, and then you'll see these little animations and different exercises you could do. And it breaks it down step by step on how to do it correctly. And it'll give you different difficulty levels, different options, and teach you right there how to do this. And you can choose male or female, and it'll show you different options reflecting that. So now we're looking at calf exercises for females. Again, some different animations, all broken down for you. And you can see they're using different weights and things. It might, be helpful if you have a gym available, but there are also definitely plenty of ones that you could do at home without this kind of equipment. But it's a neat resource, especially if you're looking to spice up your workout routine. Okay, and now we can talk about different foods and trying new foods. So why should we try new foods? One reason is to gain appreciation for other cultures. Trying food staples in other areas of the world can give you a greater appreciation for their culture. Whether you immerse yourself in the new culture by actually traveling to this new place, or just finding local options in your area to try, you're still experiencing and appreciating something new. Maybe you want to try Hawaiian food, and you can find a nearby restaurant serving authentic Hawaiian food, and taking a look at that menu and how it is different from foods you normally, might eat. You might think about what foods come from that area, and you can gain a better understanding of that culture and their traditions. Um, and everyone loves food, so it's an easy way to broaden your horizons. If you try new foods, then you'll also expand your options. When you find new items you enjoy to eat, You have more options to choose from. This can get you out of a rut if you find yourself cooking the same meals or eating at the same restaurants repeatedly. If you get bored of what you're eating and you try something new, then that comes on your menu to, repeat in the future. And it takes longer for you to get bored again, the more you find new foods that you want to eat. You also can improve your nutrition this way. The more new foods that you try, the more nutritional variety you'll get from your diet. This means finding new sources of essential vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that you're not getting otherwise. So, for example, Japanese food staples like sushi are rich in vitamins B12, vitamin D, vitamin C, iron, folate, magnesium, and more. And these are things that many people who eat the standard American diet aren't getting enough of. So if you try new foods, you can get different things that your body needs and improve your nutrition. You can also find common ground through eating new foods. For centuries, eating has been a highly social activity in almost every culture out there. Meals bring people together and decrease feelings of loneliness, and they boost happiness. Trying a new restaurant for dinner with a friend or a group is a great way to connect with others, particularly if you find you both enjoy those new flavors. So take a moment and think about a food that you dislike. Have you always disliked this food? Have you ever tried it before? Is it something you wish you liked? And do you find that you feel this way about a lot of different foods? If you do find that you feel that way about a lot of foods, you might be considered a picky eater, and that makes it more difficult to try new foods. So, picky eaters usually have a very limited set of favorite foods made in a very specific way. They don't like to try new foods and might even pass on something familiar if it looks, smells, or tastes different than it usually does. A survey of nearly 500 picky eating adults found that bitter and sour foods are especially unpopular. Slippery and slimy foods also tend to be avoided. Picky eaters also tend to skip vegetables, which are super important for your diet. They're not fans of foods with lumps, like you might find in a stew, and they don't like it when food gets mixed together, like your peas and your carrots, or something is touching each other on the plate, and they find that to be a problem. So a lot of picky eaters stick to bland comfort foods like French fries or grilled cheese, toast, crackers. They usually do good with salty foods and sweet foods. And people who are picky eaters can often get anxious about meals, especially if they find themselves in a social occasion. If you're a picky eater and you're invited to dinner at someone's house or to go out to a new restaurant, you may worry that there's not anything that you'll eat. And it's also possible, if you're a picky eater, that you might feel ashamed about these habits and threatened when other people push certain food on you. So it can be tough to try new foods if you feel this way, if you identify as a picky eater. So to get out of that kind of rut, there are certain things you might think about to try to get yourself to eat new foods. So it's easiest to try a new food when you're by yourself or with someone who's supportive and non-judgmental. So a dinner party, for example, probably isn't the best time to branch out. Putting pressure on yourself to eat or being pressured by someone else can make it worse because that makes eating less enjoyable. So try and keep your meals as stress-free and pleasant as possible. Try a new food when you're by yourself or with someone who you feel comfortable with. You can also try scaling back on your snacks and drinks so you're more hungry at actual meal times, during your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and keep track of your progress there. Try not to overwhelm yourself with a plate full of new foods. You can serve, familiar favorites with one new food that you're ready to try and just commit to a few bites. This is called, like giving yourself an out here. If you give it a few bites, you don't like the new food, you're still going to have food to eat. And, you did your best. You gave it a go, you tried it. Another way to make a new food more appetizing is by pairing it with something you enjoy. Top your new food with a well-liked sauce or seasoning to help it seem less strange or unusual. Some people, might put breadcrumbs on Brussels sprouts, and that feels a little bit more like something you're used to eating. And then maybe you can decide, wow, that tasted the Brussels sprouts. I actually didn't mind it, and do it without the breadcrumbs. Or maybe that's just where you end up staying. It's okay if you don't like everything. Different cooking methods can also bring out different flavors. If you can't stand raw carrots, maybe you would like them if they're steamed or sauteed or grilled. Roasting vegetables, especially squash and roots like beets and parsnips and onions, often makes them softer and sweeter, and you might find you enjoy them prepared that way. Studies have shown that the more times we try a food, the more that we may like it. You may have heard like an acquired taste. So just try thinking of new foods as something you don't eat yet. Build up your familiarity. Watch other people eat it and enjoy it. Try cooking it. Take a few small bites. You might get there and find a new favorite food that you end up eating all the time. But, it might not happen right away, and that's okay. So thinking about that, take a moment to reflect on what's a food that maybe you do want to try. Why haven't you tried it? Do you think that if you do try it, you might like it? And if you did, would you introduce it to some other people who maybe haven't tried it before? So now we can move on from food and talk a little bit about hobbies and trying new hobbies. So why try a new hobby? So hobbies can help you structure your time. Things take as much time as you have. So when the evening stretches out before you, unscheduled, you might find yourself laboring over a work project or answering emails late into the night. The chances are, if you had a choir practice or a book club meeting that night, you would have gotten those tasks done much more quickly. So hobbies can seem to create time by encouraging efficiency. Essentially, you want to finish all those tasks you have during the day and make sure you get to the fun part of the things you want to do. Hobbies can also promote flow. So left to our own devices, we often opt for passive leisure, TV, web surfing, scrolling, through your phone. That's at the top of a lot of people's lists. And sure, we all need to just relax, zone out from time to time. But we're so much more invigorated by an active activity, something that psychologists call flow activities. If you've ever lost yourself in a sport or an art project or some other challenging, absorbing activity, then you've experienced flow. The time flies, your self-consciousness disappears, and you are fully immersed in the activity at hand. Hobbies, especially those that really stretch our skills, foster this desirable and increasingly elusive state of flow. So if you don't have something in your life that you really get immersed into, you might find out that there's a hobby out there that can get you this feeling, and it's pretty unique. Hobbies can also foster new social connections. So while some hobbies are solitary endeavors, many get us out in our communities, meeting people that we otherwise wouldn't, sharing our passions, forming new bonds. Countless studies have found that social connection is a key component of happiness and a meaningful life, and hobbies have that potential to create these precious new ties. Hobbies also make you interesting. They give you something to talk about at parties and around the water cooler. They add layers to your identity. People want to be around other people with passions, with a sense of curiosity, with stories to tell. You not only feel more inspired when you have a rich and active life, but you will inspire others as well. When you're in a conversation with someone and you really just strike that one thing that they really love, they really get into, and they want to share it, that conversation can just go on for ages and just be really exciting. People love to talk about their hobbies and hear what other people's hobbies are. They can also help you cope with stress. Imagine a rough day at the office where you were harshly criticized by your boss. You come home and turn on the TV, and that may provide a brief distraction, but it doesn't really adjust the hurt that maybe you felt. So imagine after this, instead, you head out to a soccer league or a pottery class. These kinds of activities are more than just distracting. They remind you that there are many facets to your self-concept, your understanding of who you are, your identity. You're, an employee, but you're also an athlete or an artist. As such, one blow to one part of that identity is less damaging because you realize there are other parts of yourself. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. You're a, developed person with different sides. And all these benefits of hobbies can spill over into other aspects of your life. If you can designate an hour a day or a few hours a week for something you feel truly inspired by, don't be surprised if some of that newfound zest carries over into your work and family life. If you are excited about a hobby you have or multiple hobbies you have, you're going to feel happier in more areas of your life, and people are going to see that you're feeling good. So lots of reasons for us to try new hobbies. So a lot of people will say, do I even have the time in my life to add a new hobby? So the American Time Use Survey here measures the amount of time people spend doing various activities, such as paid work, childcare, volunteering, socializing. This chart shows how much full-time employed people spend on various activities during the work week. And of course, this is going to vary amongst people, even that work full-time like this, or people that don't work or work part-time, or just individuals are all different. So this is just an example, an average of the people that they surveyed. So it included about an hour of household chores, an hour of eating and drinking, sleeping and personal care came to about 8.5 hours. Caregiving was about a half hour shopping, working almost 9 hours, and leisure and sports and hobbies about 3 hours. So this is per workday example on average of the people they surveyed. So those people were spending about 3 hours of just things that they wanted to do, that could have included their hobbies. If you're not sure how much time you have in your day, and if you have free time for adding a new hobby, you can try this free time calculator. So in the slides, there's a link to this, and you can input some information about yourself, and it gives you an idea of where you're spending your time and how much free time you might have available. So you can go on and it gives you an example by age, and hours per week spent doing different activities. So it starts on someone age 24, and it talks about sleeping, working, commuting, fitness, eating, chores, grooming and hygiene, parenting duties, anything else. And then you can run it, and it tells you about how many free hours you might have per week, judging by those, how that breaks down to a percentage of your week. And it also does this free years remaining, busy years remaining, based on that information you input. And it also has a little bit of a breakdown activity, so you can see where most of your time is going. So in this example, you can see 41% is sleeping and 37% is working. So those are kind of the top activities. And this is using, some assumptions here to make its calculations, but it's going to be different for everyone, but it can give you an idea of maybe you're spending more time than you would like on some specific area in your life, or maybe you didn't realize how much free time you actually have. So it's a nice visual if that's something that you're looking for. So hobby examples. So there are just some examples here on the screen to get you started. So the world of hobbies is really limitless. Some are expensive, involve a lot of time, or require a teacher of some kind. Others are simple and cheap to pick up right on your own. A mixture of just a few hobbies can keep your brain and body healthy and happy. And you don't have to commit for life for a hobby. Sometimes we cycle through them as we age and, just decide certain things aren't for us anymore. And it's never too late to pick up a new hobby or revisit an old one. So take a moment and think about some different hobbies that you might like to try. So here's some inspiration if you need it. How to decide on a hobby. So these are some ways to think about what hobby might be best suited to you. So think about something you've always wanted to do. Finding a hobby can mean taking the first step to actively pursue the thing you've always thought about doing. Have you ever started a sentence with the words, "I've always wanted to," fill in the blank there. Talk to people you know who are involved with your dream hobby. Maybe you've always wanted to paint. You've always wanted to, do carpentry. You've always wanted to bird watch. It could really be anything. Try talking to people you know who are maybe involved in this hobby, or take a book out from the library, research it online. Just take that step from in your mind, I've always wanted to do this, and take some steps to actually make it real. So think back to your childhood. Oh, I see I messed the slide there, but that's what's supposed to be there. Think back to your childhood. One of the first places to look for inspiration in the search for a hobby is to explore the hobbies of your childhood. Think about what made you happy as a child. Did you maybe take lessons in dance or music, ice skating, art? Did you play a sport? Did you love to draw, paint, take part in theater, write poems? Any of these pursuits that often come about in your childhood can be turned into adult hobbies. There's no reason that if you did something as a child, you have to leave it there. It's something you can still do today. Think about how you like to spend your time. Conduct your own personal time use survey and take a closer look at your interests. So like we just did before with where you're spending your time, take a look at what those larger areas are. Do you spend a lot of time reading books, cooking? Are you outdoors? Are you shopping, watching old movies, playing with your dog? Any of these kind of activities can hold clues for potential hobbies to pursue. You can also go on a quest for some inspiration. Sometimes it takes a few extra steps to discover a potential hobby. Just walking around a craft store amid the chalk and paints and scrapbooks might remind you of an old passion or fun craft you've always wanted to try. Sometimes just enjoying new experiences can spark interest in a hobby. Visiting an art gallery or a museum might remind you that you've always wanted to learn how to paint or throw ceramics. Going to a concert might spark your interest in learning the cello. You can also take a class or a lesson. If something piqued your interest in the past, look for a class to learn more about it. A cooking class, a computer design class, painting with friends, belly dancing class, anything. There's so much out there. Take a look for these. A lot of times you're something to find these sort of things on a less expensive way is your local library, but there are many places you can look, and you can learn where your passions reside. So now we're on the topic of making new friends. So why should we make new friends? So the benefits of friendship. Good friends are good for your health. Friends can help you celebrate good times and provide support during bad times. They prevent loneliness and give you a chance to offer needed companionship to them as well. They increase your sense of belonging and purpose. They can boost your happiness and reduce your stress, improve your self-confidence and your self-worth. Friends help you cope with your traumas, such as a divorce or a serious illness, job loss, death of a loved one. They can encourage you to change or avoid unhealthy lifestyle habits, like a lack of exercise or smoking. Friends play a significant role in promoting your overall health. Adults with strong social supports have a reduced risk of many significant health problems, including depression, high blood pressure, um, an unhealthy BMI. Studies have even found that older adults with a rich social life are likely to live longer than their peers with fewer connections. So our friends keep us healthy. So why do we find it difficult to make new friends or maintain friendships? Many adults find it hard to develop friendships because they take a back seat to other priorities, such as work or caring for children or other family members. Um, and you put that, to the bottom of your list. You and your friends also may have just grown apart due to time, changes in your lives, different interests. Or maybe you find it difficult to make friends if you've moved to a new community and you haven't found a way to meet new people. Developing and maintaining good friendships takes effort. The enjoyment and comfort friendship can provide makes the investment worthwhile. So, what is a healthy number of friends? What should we really be searching for? And the important thing to remember here is that quality counts more than quantity. While it's good to cultivate a diverse network of friends and acquaintances, you really want to nurture the few truly close friends who are going to be there for you, thick and thin. So don't worry so much about the number of friends you have, but just in making sure that you keep the good friends you do have, the ones that really mean a lot to you, who are there to support you and are going to stick around. So finding new friends. So you can find potential friends all over, really. It might be people you've worked with, or if you've taken classes with, they might share the hobbies you have. There could be someone you were friends with in the past, but you lost touch and you want to reach out again. There might be someone, a friend of a friend that you've enjoyed chatting with at social gatherings. Or you might share family ties, maybe a distant family member that you want to get closer with, or maybe one that perhaps doesn't live in your area and you haven't talked to as much. But there are so many ways that you can find new friends. In addition to these options, you can attend community events, look for groups or clubs that gather around an interest or a hobby you share. These groups are often listed in a newspaper or on community bulletin boards. There are many websites that help you connect with new friends in your neighborhood or your city. You can do a Google search with terms such as your city plus a social network. So you can say, if you were living in New York, you say New York City plus, Facebook and find a group there, or your neighborhood plus some type of meetup, and you might find something. Even smaller areas often still have these sorts of things. Volunteer. You can offer your time or your talents at a hospital, a place of worship, a museum, a community center, or some other charity or organization. If you're volunteering, you can form strong connections to the people that you work with who probably have mutual interests to you. Be sure to extend and accept invitations. Invite a friend to join you for coffee or for lunch. If you're invited to a social gathering, say yes, try it out. Contact someone who recently invited you somewhere and return the favor. Take up a new interest. at a college or community education course, join a local class at a gym, a senior center, join a faith community. You can take advantage of special activities and get to know new events for new members. Or, simply take a walk. Have a family member, a friend, your pet, head outside, chat with your neighbors, go to a popular park, strike up a conversation. You might find a new friend. So we are in January 2023 now. So we're right at the start of a new year, which is a perfect time to make a New Year's resolution and incorporate some new things into your life. So I hope listening to this, you've been inspired to try something new. So to end off here, I'll give you the top 10 resolutions that people make at the start of the new year. Exercise more, lose weight, get organized, learn a new skill or a hobby, live life to the fullest, spend less money, quit smoking, spend more time with family and friends, travel more, read more. And those are just some examples. Take a look at your life and something you might want to do. Think back to everything we've talked about and try something new. So thank you everyone for listening. We've got our references here, and I will put the slides into the chat. And if there are any questions, feel free to share them. Okay, well, I'll put back in the chat. All our webinars are recorded on our website, and you can find them there. You'll also find this information in your inbox tomorrow. And I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Thank you, everyone.